Hi, today I want to give you a different way of thinking about failure so that if you reach for a drink when you want to stay sober, or you fall off the wagon, or you slip up, that you're able to stay on track more easily. You can keep your motivation levels high rather than feeling as if you've failed and there's no point carrying on. So first of all, let's imagine that there's no such word as failure. Let's use the word feedback instead. And let's imagine a toddler learning to walk for the very first time. I don't know if you've ever watched a toddler taking its first steps, but when it does, it will fall down a lot. It'll tumble, it'll wobble, it'll fall on its butt, it will bang its head, it will hurt itself, it will cry. But at no point does the toddler ever think to itself, it doesn't understand the concept, it doesn't think to itself, oh, I've failed, I'm going to give up. Giving up just isn't a concept it understands. So every time the toddler falls over, it learns how not to do it. It learns how to do it differently. And the toddler simply keeps getting up, keeps taking another step and then another step until eventually it falls over a lot less and it's able to stand up more and take more steps. Now, that's what I refer to as feedback. So it might not go right the first time. You might slip up. You might be super focused, super determined, and the weekend comes around or a sunny day and an outdoor barbecue comes around and you find yourself reaching for the drink. And it's at this point that a lot of people can sometimes feel as if they've failed, and so they give up. They see themselves as a failure. They think to themselves, I can't do this. But when you think about it as feedback, okay, there was something about that situation that caused me, despite all of my motivation, despite my determination, caused me to reach for a drink. I wonder what that was. And you learn from it. So a bit like the toddler falling over and hurting itself, you simply get up, dust yourself down, and you get back on track. And you can think about what you learnt from that situation. What feedback did that give you that's going to help you stay on track in future? When you believe that there's no such thing as failure, there's only feedback, it makes it much easier to deal with any knocks or slip-ups along the way. Because when you know that this is just feedback you're getting and all it means is you need to do something differently next time, you can get yourself up, dust yourself down, and you can carry on the path that you've chosen for yourself. So thinking about things in terms of feedback instead of failure is a really useful thing to do. Imagine the difference between reaching for a drink at the weekend, waking up hungover, feeling awful, and thinking to yourself, I can't do this, I'm a failure. That's not motivating. All that's going to do is motivate you to reach for more alcohol and to continue in that cycle. On the other hand, if you wake up thinking, hold on a minute, something didn't go quite right there. I need to learn from that so that I can make sure I don't do it next time. When there's no thought of being a failure, there's only thoughts of what you can learn from that and how you can do it differently next time until you get the result you want. It's a much healthier, much more positive, much more motivating approach to getting sober. Einstein famously said, I haven't failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. And that's exactly what we're doing when we first start learning this skill of living life sober, is we're finding all sorts of ways that do work for us and all sorts of ways that don't work for us. And we take the feedback when it doesn't work for us and we do something differently next time that helps us stay on track more easily. Next week, I'll be giving you an interesting tidbit on the concept of failure to help keep you motivated and inspired. If you want more tips, ideas, motivation and inspiration on getting sober and staying sober, subscribe to my channel. I'll look forward to catching up with you next time, but in the meantime, let's go get sober together.